All right, welcome into the Ryan Ripken Show. Happy Monday. Hope you survived the weekend. You know, we're not even going to talk about what happened in Houston because it's over and done with, but we're having a great week and we're going to have a great stinking day. What we got on deck for you today? Well, the Orioles are back in town, so we will be previewing the Orioles and Guardians later on in the program. Joe Noga of Cleveland.com is going to join us to preview the series. And then you guys are probably wondering who the MLB legend that can join us. And it's probably not the person that you thought. It's actually a guy that throws a lot of damn knuckleballs and is actually a former teammate of yours truly. Mickey Janis is going to give us a visit to the show. And then we've heard the conversations, right? So we are going to talk about the Orioles pitching situation as well. And how about this, guys? People have wondered about potential candidates. Well, how about we start a little thing here on breakdowns of potential candidates? Number one right now, get to meet Eric Fetty on the Chicago White Sox. That will be the breakdown as well. And we'll do our MLB news and notes, talk a little bit of Ravens, and then get you on out of here to enjoy the rest of your day. And actually, let's talk about who's in studio now for the group. Zach is back in his normal spot.
Just doing my thing, just another day in the life.
And
just
then
ignoring yesterday's series, like you said. We're moving on.
That's what you got to move on. We're going to move on to your left here. And we got Rocco and Kevin in the spot. How we doing, fellas?
What did you call me?
Huh?
Did you call me anything? Am I allowed to give you this fist bump?
We'll see.
Okay.
By the way, how much time do we have? Because this is the first time Rocco's been in studio in like 5 years.
Whoa.
So I have gifts. And Joe, you'll remember this. Can I get up quickly and do that? It'll take 2 minutes.
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you. Well, this is for hitting 10,000. So congratulations to everybody here for hitting 10,000. Let's give a round of applause to everybody. Big milestone for us, big milestone for the group. And I know, Ryan, you'll talk a bit about it too, but I'm going to get the gifts right now.
Yeah, it's actually a good, we'll start with that because you guys obviously did it on the Kevin and Zach Reacts and oh my goodness.
Kevin just knocked everything.
You know what?
over.
You know what that's called, Kevin? That's called karma.
Oh,
That right there
For
is
what?
called karma. I don't feel bad for you at all. I'm not going to help you at all. I hope your laptop's broken.
It already
Let's
is
have a show.
broken. It already is broken.
Maybe you fixed the fan in dropping it from however many feet up you were.
all right. Well,
there he
while
goes.
Kevin's going to behind me to get the his props or gifts or whatever it's going to be considered, we wanted to take a moment here and actually reflect on this. It is just a number, right? But it's also a good time to reflect and see how far it's come. You know, this time last year, the Ryan Ripken Show didn't exist. This group didn't really know each other. I hadn't met Zach yet or Kevin. Rocco and I had been starting to work together just recently for 3 months. And, you know, I just reminisced about all the failures and setbacks. Like, what the hell are we going to do? And it's not a finished product, but it's showing the hard work and effort we've consistently put in. And above all, then it's you guys latching onto this, and the community drives this. So we can't thank you guys enough. 10K is just one stop for us. We got a long way to go, but we appreciate you guys. I didn't do 10 shots on the actual day, but I might have accumulated that in spicy waters or tequila the next night. So I guarantee you, I put in my work. Don't you worry about it.
So scared about what's about to happen. Why did Kevin just reappear only wearing one shoe?
Okay.
So scared. Why is he limping like that?
Oh, no.
I don't like this. What are you doing? Okay, you want the mic?
I think I might have broken my toe live on stream. That's really fun. But
Kevin,
my laptop fell directly on my toe.
Is that why your shoe's off?
Yes, it hurts.
Kevin Toebreaker is what we're going to start calling
Wait,
you.
why did you take your shoe?
Because it hurts. Okay, but so these are courtesy of my dad. We went out to Ellicott City and they have these really weird sodas. And so I had put this on and my dad wanted to get one for everybody. So for Ryan,
He's not putting pressure on his other foot.
we have grass flavored soda because you played on the grass.
He's telling you
right?
you need to go touch some grass. Go
Well,
touch some
you
grass.
can display it,
kid.
you can drink it, you can do what you want with it.
Wow, that's
Look at that.
that. I don't know what to say. And you know what, guys? Besides grass soda, it is pure cane sugar. So thank you, Kevin, so much.
He's carrying his shit.
We have a waiver at the Ryan Ripken show. If you get hurt, it's on your own. So just so you know. Oh my gosh.
All right. Next for Rocco, we have dirt soda. This is just the one that I don't know why. There's no.
Thanks, Kevin.
So you can
Kevin,
drink that.
stop.
You can display it.
Hey, can you turn the label so everyone can see it?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
There we go.
Dirt soda, baby.
Dirt soda for a dirt ball.
Yeah.
There we go.
You know, it all makes sense now.
Yeah. Thanks.
Kevin is literally limping across the studio.
This is like the saddest, happiest moment of my life, I think, right here on this show.
All right. And then for Zach, you know, we got to go with the mustard, mustard flavored soda.
Oh my gosh.
And Brad, you have one too. So,
Hey.
There we go, baby.
Well, I feel like then we got to wait.
I can't stop looking at Kevin limping. I'm so sorry.
Oh, God. Well, so what is yours there, buddy?
It's got to be relish, right?
I have the pickle
Oh,
flavored
nice,
soda.
very nice,
And shout
very
out to
nice.
Joe, by the way, who I teased this on a post game show, and Joe guessed I had pickle and you had mustard with Brad before I even said anything.
That's crazy.
So, shout out to you, Joe.
I got to be honest. I don't know if I'm just nauseous because this is just very green, or I still have, you know, some spicy water in the system, which is very possible after my Saturday night. But Kevin, really thoughtful. It's great. You know, I was gonna say if Brad was here, we'd crack these puppies open. But I think we got to wait for Brad.
Yeah.
On these. But thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Shout out to my dad for the idea.
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
So-
Shout out Papa Ostreicher.
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
right. There you go. There you go.
Father of the toe breaker.
Yeah, I also need to fix this mic stand.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You know, Waterfall, we are all choked up with emotion. That's what we're going to go with that. All choked up with
I
emotion.
really try. I'm really scared to open my laptop, by the way. I don't know how it's going to work.
Hopefully better than your
Also,
toe.
if you want straws, we do have straws for you to drink them out of.
Okay, now we're going to get going with the show. Okay, so let's move on here for a second. But Kevin, appreciate you. I'm going to hold this here, guys. And if you guys, our holy shirts and pants will definitely see this first. I guarantee you that. Woo! Well, that will be fun. Again, cheers to 10K. Cheers to all of you guys. This doesn't get done without all of your guys' support, truly. And I just can't believe you just injured yourself. Like, no one self-inflicts himself more than you, but we're going to stop with that comment. But I'll tell you what, we're talking about being motivated. And look, we got a really motivated group in here overall. You know, that's why not complacent with where we are. We have further aspirations. And actually, guys, this kind of starts off the show. I saw something recently, and I put it in the show notes. We're going to show it today. It's Maryland-based. A lot of people around the USA love this guy, but specifically Baltimore has a pride for this man, and that is Michael Phelps. And Phelps was shown a video recently about, competing in the Olympics. And maybe some people don't feel as favorable to the United States. They're entitled to their opinion. But if you don't feel the energy in Michael Phelps's voice and in his eyes, well, we don't know what to tell you. Let's play that clip.
I asked you to see this, how you might have used it if this was said back when you were swimming.
But it is just so much sweeter beating America.
Yeah.
There were a couple of nights, particularly the first night of competition, where we did not have to hear Star Spangled Banner ring out through the stadium, and I cannot tell you how happy that made me. When we're like right next to each other in the warm-up areas, the US have this like infernal cowbell that they ring, and as someone leaves to go to the competition pool, they ring out USA, USA, and I've never wanted to punch someone more.
Wow.
Have you seen that?
No, but I appreciate your comments, Kate. Somebody said that to me, I would lose it. I would literally make them eat every word they just said about me. Because people have done it. Chad Leclos, Thorpe, you guys have all talked about me, and I had the last laugh. So for the Americans, if you see what I just saw, that's the first time I saw it. I would watch that thing every single day to give me that little extra bit of just oomph. Oh, I mean, that's awesome. Well, The good news is the Olympics will be here shortly, and we'll be able to see what the results are.
Okay, I'll just be honest. I'm just not gonna sugarcoat it. I fucking love it. I love it, and that's like it fires you up. And also, you think that guy wants to get back in there if he could and kick some ass? Absolutely.
He's gonna come out of retirement. You could see it in his eyes. He was like, "I'm about to get in that damn pool and prove everything." He's like, "If you guys keep talking, I'm getting in that damn pool again."
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Like, look, I get it. It's, people can have their perceptions of the USA. That's fine, but like, you're swimming for your country. You're competing for your country. Yeah, damn right. I'd have the same pride. I'd be chanting USA. I think every country, if you show pride for your country and you're going out there competing on the national stage, like that's one thing. If I could look at besides going the professional baseball route, if I had the talent to go out there and compete for your country like that as an athlete, it's got to be one of the highest honors you can do. And man,
I will say it is funny because it's like Kate talking about how she hates hearing the Star Spangled Banner ring. Then beat us. You don't like it, beat us, but they seem incapable of doing it. So play the damn song.
Well, I think there's only one thing that we can do here, guys.
You have to train to go beat Kate in the Olympics.
Well, that, but also USA, 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 USA.
Unbelievable.
I'm just picturing Kevin just in the Olympics right now.
If I am the men's team, the women's team, it doesn't matter if you're swimming, any sport you compete in the Olympics, representing America this year in Paris, you should be playing that clip before every single event, before every single match. And on top of that, with Michael Phelps saying what he just said.
oh yeah.
Someone needs to create a hype video with some dope music behind it. Maybe just have the Star Spangled Banner playing behind it. It'd be awesome.
Hell yeah.
It would fire up every single athlete. Not that they need the motivation because you are swimming for your country or representing the red, white, and blue of the United States of America, but just to have that extra oomph, that extra motivation to go out there and just beat every single person you face, it would be incredible. So that needs to happen. And if they need motivation, if they're lacking motivation, look no further than that video. That's all the motivation you need.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. I mean, and this is the greatest part. The Olympic time is so much fun. And watching swimming in the Olympics is electric. I still remember when Phelps was chasing history and then that relay race specifically. I can watch that even knowing that what's going to happen.
Chills.
And chills. I'm fired up every single time. And so, hey, you're a competitor. That's what made him great. You find a reason to get ticked off and stay motivated no matter what.
There's nothing more American than watching Katie Ledecky just absolutely kick ass in a swimming pool.
Hell yeah.
Simple as that.
Can't wait. Was it Bart Scott? Bart Scott, former Raven.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. See you in see you in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Can't wait. Can't wait. All right, guys, as we continue moving on here in the program, as we go around the rest of Maryland, guys, why don't we just, while we're doing this, hop into our Adams Jeep as we ride around to Maryland to give you a little bit more news
Buckle up, Kevin.
on what's going on. So we're riding around our Adams Jeep. Oh, Kevin.
Buckle up, Kevin.
Kevin, don't drop that again because you.
Buckle up,
there
Kevin.
we go.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
Kevin.
This is the seatbelt dance move.
Buckle up, buddy. All right. You want a little
soda, little guy, for the ride?
What?
Okay. Timeout. Here we go.
Okay.
All right, back to it. But our friends Adams Jeep, that beautiful sign right behind Zach right there. Adams Jeep of Maryland, located up in Aberdeen. So you guys know where the Aberdeen Ironbirds play. It's right down the road from there, and they still have that special going right now. Brad negotiated the deal for it. He upped it from $500 to $1,000. If you go and buy a used Jeep at Adams Jeep of Maryland and you say the real code Rocco sucks, you will get $1,000 gas gift card
For the next week.
Yep, for the rest of the month. So it's only a week left.
Yeah,
So
a week.
1 week left. It's a great deal. $1,000 gas gift card to go buy a used Jeep. I'm going to go do it right now. Say it 4 times.
Yep.
That was Chuck. Chuck was all about that.
I want to get really rich and make a lot of money to where I can go back and say, I'm going to give you $2,000 if you say something bad about Chuck. But I can't do that right now. So I guess I'll just have to take this in.
No, I heard you're going to do it.
Yeah.
I will. You know what?
No, right
Chuck,
now.
I'm coming
Right now.
for you.
Yeah. I mean,
When I make a lot of money, when I get really famous, $2,000 to the person that says they hate Chuck.
No, it's now.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to
Okay,
wait. It's
yeah.
now.
All
Yeah,
right, I'll
so-
take
Just
it- I'll
send your
take it alone.
Venmo to Rocco.
I'll take
He'll
it
Yeah.
send
alone.
and
There you
and King, does Rocco really suck?
Mm,
Mm,
mm.
kind of. Yeah. But anyway, let's move on. Let's go to some MLB news and notes as we are moving ahead. Obviously, the one thing we'll touch on this with the Orioles later. There was a move. Heston Kjerstad, the guy that's just hitting everything down in AAA, he's up here now in Baltimore. The corresponding move was Nick Maton was designated for assignment. We will dive more into that kind of roster move and what it could mean for the Orioles. Are you guys okay?
I'm in a lot of pain.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I didn't know. I didn't do anything.
I know, Kevin. Goodness gracious.
I'm powering through.
I know, bud.
You need
You're a warrior.
We need
This-
to get ice for your foot.
No,
Elevate
I'm-
it, maybe.
no, I'm all right.
Would you
This-
like that stool over there?
This is the moment. This is the moment for it. You got it. You're toughening up, man. These are moments you're gonna look back on. When did the Ryan Ripken show really take another step? When Kevin dropped his laptop on himself, self-inflicted, because he wanted to get up to do something, and he's gonna power
Yeah.
through.
When did the Ryan Ripken show take another step? When Kevin couldn't even take his own steps?
Rick,
Yes.
we need a GoPro in here because when you were switching the cameras, oh my God, you missed the best moment. It was like chaos. Kevin literally just like popped his laptop up in the air, threw his hands all over the place, smacked the mic. Mic goes down, laptop falls on his foot. It was just amazing. I think that would have been an all-time moment on the
Yeah.
show.
Well, the best was looking in the background and Kevin walked in the corner and then he reappeared like a minute later holding his
Limping.
shoe and a bag and he was just limping across.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
You know what you do though too, Kev. You know what's great for that?
Rub some dirt on it.
If
Well,
you,
that too.
I know it's good for it, but it's usually good for shoulder pain. man.
Rub some dirt on
I
it.
think you should say, you know exactly what I'm thinking.
You know it's good for it, Kevin. You know it's good. You know it's good for it, Kevin. All right, yes. All right, we're back to it though. Kjerstad, we're going to explain how it all fits in. And by the way, fun fact: Heston Kjerstad got ejected from the game the other day because he was hit 3 straight times on 3 pitches. Zach, right?
in 3 innings.
In 3 innings.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be pissed too. That's also rarefied air.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it never feels good getting hit once. Getting hit twice, you're like, okay, that sucks. 3 times, like, all right, buddy, what are we doing? 3 straight pitches?
If I'm Heston, I'm getting tossed just so I don't have to go up and face him again because there's probably going to be a 4th time. The
Yeah.
way they were hitting him, he obviously bats 3 times in 3 innings. You're obviously doing some damage. And then you get hit 3 straight times. You're just like, dude.
Yeah. And we're going to have our reporter down there in Norfolk come back on, David Hall, and we'll talk a little bit more in depth with Heston. And we all know the talent there. We'll see where it all fits in for the Orioles here as he comes back up. But obviously, nothing left that he's proven down in AAA. Just going to be, will he have the consistent at bats here at the big league level? All right, a couple other MLB news and notes here. The other one, how about this? The Blue Jays can't figure them out, guys. Cannot figure them out. And it's not helping when you're trying to figure out if you are a young team, an old team, but they were trying to do a youth movement, and they brought up then their number 2 overall or their number 2 prospect in the organization. And that was Orelvis Martinez, and he made his debut on Friday, and then he just got popped for an 80-game suspension for performance-enhancing drugs. So when you're the Blue Jays and we're saying things aren't going right, they've lost 6 straight. They're in the bottom of the barrel in the AL East. I don't know what's going on there, but really cool moment all of a sudden. You finally get to the bigs, and then all of a sudden now, hey, whammy, you're done for the rest of the year, and you're getting ready for 2025.
Yeah, here's the Blue Jays literally the other night posting him walking into his major league debut.
Zach, pull up I know you know the post to pull up after this though. The post.
Which post?
Him and his family after because it's the post that everyone is just having a
Oh,
field day
yeah.
with right now. And it's like if you could do us this service right now and bring that up, because that's the one that everyone is just taking and running with it, because it was like first hit, you know, he gave the ball and the bat to his family, and they posted it, and a day later he suspended 80 games for performance enhancing drugs. So it's crazy.
I can't find the picture.
Yeah.
They might have deleted it. They might have deleted it.
And this is the thing now. It's an unfortunate situation because it's such an awesome moment for you and your family. And now there's this negative cloud surrounding it. Now he's going to have the opportunity to go out there and play moving forward, is saying that he's clean and all of that. It's not a career ender, but then you're going to have to fight off the perception of being a performance enhancer, that a user.
Yep.
Like that's what you're going to have to deal with. But for a Blue Jays team, and we'll get to the point. I know people are saying, I see you, Michael, go get Gausman, Bassett, or Kikuchi. The Blue Jays are in that weird spot. And I think in about 2 weeks, we're going to have a better idea if they're fully going to sell. But one thing's for sure, Toronto Blue Jays have been extremely, extremely disappointing. And that's tough. And, this is what I've heard. It's a good thing you just brought this up, Zach. Right? Did you bring this up, Zach, or Rocco? Who brought this?
What's that with the
quote right here? Apparently, he was trying to start a family in the medication. Correct?
Yeah, I do. Before you say anything,
Yeah.
I want to ask you this as someone who played baseball professionally. Do you get a list of substances that you can't take?
Yes.
Okay. And obviously, I'm assuming, Rip, that you're not going to remember every single one of them.
For sure.
Because I'm assuming a long list of substances that are banned that you can't take.
Yeah.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Any logical person, if he's trying to start a family, all power to him.
For sure.
I hope he does, and I hope he one day is able to. But listen, man, here's what you can't do. Just start putting chemicals or substances or ingredients into your body, not knowing, okay, this could potentially ruin my career or mess it up going forward or sideline me for an extended amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Go to your trainer, go to your agent, go to your team doctor and ask, hey, can I take this? Take the steps going forward to say, is this banned? Is this on a list? Does it have anything involved? To make sure you cover your tracks. Because if you didn't do that and you go out and put something in your body and you get suspended 80 games and you're trying to have a successful MLB career and you just got called up, that's on you, my friend. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And here's the thing, right? That's exactly it. What you are responsible for what you put in your body. And that is the number one thing. The MLB doesn't care if you didn't know or unknowingly, unless and this would be the rarefied 0.011% or whatever, where you truly have no idea. And maybe there's something goes wrong, right? Like there are certain cases. However, in this case, any doubt at all, you got to go to your team doctor, team physician. I mean, hell, I kid you not. I remember people asking about hey, what if I popped a Viagra? What would that do? And even for that, but so they have the TUEs. If you guys remember with Chris Davis when the Adderall situation, I think it was whatever it was, he didn't re-up his TUE, and that's that. I mean, again, that's on him. Then that's on him for not upping his own stuff, and then you fail a drug test. That's what happens. Players are responsible for what they go into their body. If you have any shred of doubt, you got to ask the team officials. They're always going to be more cautious. So they're going to be like, hey, probably shouldn't. You know what? We don't know.
Yes.
So don't take it. So that's my thing. I'll just say now with cannabis, now that's changed. It's funny. Back then, they didn't test for weed on the 40 man, but they tested for weed when you were not on the 40 man. So if you got taken off the list or whatnot, you could be screwed.
I remember Kevin Gausman actually talked about that.
Yeah.
He said it was a big deal to be put on the 40 man because, well, as he put, there wasn't much to do in Bowie at the time. And he's like, so if you're on the 40 man, he's like, at least you had something to do in that situation. But he's like, it's just changed so much.
And we even said it. If he went through all the right steps and he was cleared, and Casey brought up a good point here. Oh, if his doctors cleared him, I'd sue. But if that wasn't the case, then you know what? You got to take the suspension. But if you were cleared by the right people and you went to the right people and said, okay, you're allowed to take this. This is cleared by Major League Baseball. You're good to go. I think this is a substance that they're not going to worry about or suspend you going forward. That's a different animal.
Yeah. So in this case, like I said, in other parts, there are certain drugs that mask. So that's the other part when people get tested for PEDs. Sometimes it might not necessarily what they get hit for. And I'm not saying this case, but educating people. we could have a long conversation about this. The whole biogenesis with Tony Bosch years ago, they would create drugs that would be put out there for different uses, could mask being detected by Major League Baseball. So that's one thing. And one of those things, and I'm not going to accuse him of this, but one of those, there is a fertility drug, or that's used for fertility purposes, but some people will use it as a masking agent. So just to throw context in there, there's a lot going on. And actually, our guest coming on, we can talk about this. We've sat down, had a lot of these meetings in spring trainings and, everywhere else. I don't think, luckily him and I, we're not suspended. We just, just enjoyed playing ball, sometimes having good games, sometimes having some really bad ones. But you guys are probably wondering, and if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. But this player, we played together with the Norfolk Tides. What else did we do? He made his MLB debut that year in 2021. He's got some great visual moments on specifically the short form medias like Instagram and TikTok. And apparently, guys, he's an MLB Show the Legend that people like a cheat code when you want to throw a pitcher out there. So let's bring on my friend of Ryan Ripken, friend of the Ryan Ripken Show, Mr. Mickey Janis. Mickey, there
What's
he
up?
is.
How we doing?
Good.
How's it going?
You joined for a great conversation. We were talking about, like, initially it was, Martinez getting banned, and then I remember, I don't think you were in the room for that, but someone asked, like, hey, if I pop a Viagra, am I going to get busted? And they're like, well, let's talk about that on the side.
Yeah,
maybe. But just touch on that, Mickey. You know this. The MLB was they're very, very tight about it, and they don't care if whatever the excuse is. If you test positive, they look at it. It's on you. They say it to us every single day in spring training.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you get speeches every year about it, a couple times a year probably. Going on the Viagra thing, I remember getting a talk about in spring training is they're like, don't take those pills that you get at the gas station just to be safe. That was a big talk. They're like, don't, can't be doing that. You're responsible for what goes in your body and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's no excuses when it comes to that type of stuff. Yeah,
actually, the gas station ones were my favorite too. The branding and packaging on those, just like the names of it. You get to the front.
That's marketing 101.
Yeah,
right
it's like
there.
you want to perform like a bull, like whatever this is. Performance XXX. Take this one pill. I think someone did tell me, Mickey, someone took it and it was like the strangest experience that has happened to them. But I think it was post baseball. But hey, talk to us. So how you doing? You're playing in the Mexican League.
Yeah.
How are things going? How are you feeling? Off day. Maybe give a little bit of insight to what actually your day-to-day is right now down there.
Yeah. I mean, I just got back from a 7-hour road trip at 6 a.m. this morning. So I know there's some things I'm sure I tell you that and you're like, well, definitely don't miss those days, but yeah, it's been going good. We're in the thick of a playoff race. We've been kind of up and down all year, but we're right in the thick of it with an opportunity to make the playoffs, and it's pretty much the same grind. Every day we get every Monday off, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, well, it's a grind no matter what. Maybe kind of just touch on it. So. Yeah, for everyone that knows, I did mention that you are a knuckleball pitcher. I hated facing you, by the way. Love you. Hated facing a knuckleball. But can you explain? You can explain to people how it kind of works. I tell people the scariest thing with a great knuckleball is you have no idea what it's going to do, and then you just freeze.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what it is. I kind of have an idea of where it's going, but where it ends up, no one really knows. And I think that's what makes a great knuckleball, close to the best pitch in baseball, if not the best pitch, because if you're throwing it and it's not spinning, like nobody wants to face you. I mean, you're getting guys like, it's almost like those Randy Johnson days when you're a left-handed hitter. You're like, hammies a little tight tonight. I'm not going to go, But yeah, I mean, you're watching what Waldron's doing with the Padres lately. He's been getting better every single game he's pitched in, and I remember seeing a tweet last week of Jazz Chisholm going, I think he throws the best pitch in baseball because you have no idea where it's going, where it's going to end up, what it's going to do. It's got a mind of its own. You know, there's so many great quotes that come with hitters trying to hit a knuckleball. It's like, you know, it's like trying to eat, soup with a fork kind of thing. I think Stargell
Yes, Kevin does that a lot.
Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just it's a great pitch when you throw it right. Unfortunately, when you don't throw it right, it's a horrible pitch. But that's what that comes with the territory. And sometimes most of the time it's a great pitch, and some days it's just not.
For sure. I mean, look, that's the part of it. When people get hit, it's because of it's not doing what it's supposed to do. And that's why a guy like R.A. Dickey, when they're like, wait, where did he come from? And he's in his later 30s and he's going out there winning, Cy Youngs. You know what I mean? Like it has the ability, if you're able to contain it and be effective with it. So we appreciate that. Zach, thoughts for Mr. Mickey Janis?
First off, I do want to clarify. I'm very open about I do not understand a lot of things on earth, and the knuckleball is up at the top of the list. I try to understand how it works all the time. It doesn't make sense to me. How did you learn how to throw that? And how long did it take you to finally feel like, okay, I can use this in a professional level and get outs and dominate with it?
I just kind of grew up messing around with it, and I saw a special on Tim Wakefield when I was 13 years old. And I switched from a 3-finger grip to a 2-finger grip, and just went out the next day and just chucked it as hard as I could. My throwing partner, and it just kind of clicked right away. Then as far as actually throwing it in games, that was a whole different story. But I just kind of always threw it. My last 10 to 15 throws in catch play, and I got released by the Tampa Bay Rays as a conventional pitcher, and I just kind of went. I'm a righty throwing 88 to 92, just an average right-handed pitcher. And I was like, I got to do something else that stands out differently. So I kind of just took it upon myself and made the switch and basically just told everyone I'm a knuckleball pitcher now. And then went in the next year, and that was 2013, and just started throwing it. And, it gradually got, it had a lot of steps along the way to be able to have confidence to throw it, to the, I'm throwing it 85% of the time in games now. So my first year I was probably closer to 30%, and then it's 40%, 50%, you just kind of, the more you throw it, the better it gets. And I mean, you never really master the pitch. So you just got to kind of have confidence and just let it rip and have the conviction behind it to get guys out. And, sometimes you throw one and you're like, that one felt really good, and the guy hit it a mile, and then you throw one, that one doesn't feel as good, and the guy swings and misses. So sometimes you don't even know. Like I said, it's got a mind of its own, and you spend a lifetime trying to master it.
It truly does. And I've asked Mickey after, I'm like, dude, that was nasty. What'd you do there? He's like, sometimes you're like, I don't know. I don't know what I did there. It felt good to let the game out of the hand and then just whoosh. I think Mickey, the first time I faced Mickey was in Binghamton.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Binghamton is the Binghamton Rumble Ponies.
Yep.
Oh, that's a great name.
Binghamton, say that 5 times fast. Binghamton Rumble Ponies versus the Bootown Bay Sox. And I didn't swing the bat once because I was like, screw this. And I walked. Thank goodness. And then I faced Mickey in the alternate site then in 21 when we were teammates. And I don't think I made one solid contact for an out, by the way, for an out. Every other time it was just off the end, strikeout, miserable. Thanks, bud.
Hey, you always got my A+ stuff. I always had to bring it against you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Also, guys, fun fact, if you want to go and have a nice stroll and go get a coffee, Mickey's your guy. The amount of times on the road where we'd get up and Mickey had to deal with me as a roommate, which, that's for a different topic. But, man, we walked around to some coffee shops. Remember the one in Jacksonville was going over the bridge.
Yeah, we're just dripping sweat. It's so hot in Jacksonville, but you get there and it's a good little spot.
It was it was 95 degrees. And also Mickey, sometimes if maybe if Rip was having some Rip After Dark moments, and so Mickey then was being the responsible one. Sometimes Rip didn't get up in the morning.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Okay. At times, easy on that.
Mickey, real quick, what was Rip's worst quality as a roommate? I think we need to put that. And you can be brutally honest right now, too.
Yeah, it's okay. You can go ahead. I mean, there's so many great things, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you. There's nothing?
Okay,
Nothing
there's
there?
nothing at all.
Nothing wrong.
There's nothing at all.
Yeah, there's nothing. I'm just that damn good of a guy. I know it's hard to believe, right? Besides, I said I'm just that damn good of a guy. Besides, like Jacksonville brought out some moments for me. I'll be honest.
This is a perfect Rip After Dark opportunity.
But it's 12:57 here.
We can turn the lights off and we can make it dark in here.
You got to understand, it's not even afternoon where Mickey is. He's on Mountain Time right now. So
we'll
still
keep
early
that
in
the morning.
Do you have before we get into another my next question, Rocco? Do you have a follow up that you wanted to ask, or Kevin?
Yeah, Mickey, do you have not a weird question because you're a baseball player? Do you have a baseball ready, handy right now, that you can show people on the camera?
There he is.
Really quickly, can you just show? Because you said you do the 3-finger grip now, not the 2-finger. Can you just show everybody?
So
are you
opposite?
Okay. Finger, and then I switch to the 2-finger.
Okay. Can you show everybody how you grip a knuckle, how you grip a baseball to throw the knuckleball, how you specifically do it and kind of throw it?
Yeah. Show us how you grip that puppy.
Yeah. So I just go thumb underneath, no seams at all. It just makes it come out of the hand easier with no seams.
Okay.
And I'm going 2 fingers straight on the top, right there. Digging the fingernails in there a little bit. You got to kind of groom those as a knuckleball pitcher. And then thumb underneath. And then you're just trying to stay behind the ball as long as you can. So when it's coming out, people think you kind of push it, but it's not really a push. It's just making sure you're staying all the way behind it. So it's coming out just straight like that.
Dude, that's impressive.
I'm going to throw one now.
So does your elbow, because you said you were a traditional pitcher before, you see all these elbow injuries to guys in, recent months and years, especially when you're throwing a knuckleball after a start, does your elbow feel better or worse than it did when you were a traditional pitcher in that realm? Or the same?
I mean, it feels better. I can throw multiple innings, multiple days in a row. The other day, actually, I threw 1 inning on Friday night, and then the next day I threw 5 innings out of the bullpen. So,
wow, man. How'd it go?
Went pretty well. I threw 5 innings, 1 unearned run. So went pretty well.
Who made the error? Who did it?
Our third baseman lost a ground ball in the lights.
They got the lights low down there. They got the lights low down.
Here, and we play on turf, so he hit a chopper, and he just came like this, and it just went like this, and I went off the tip of his glove. So
that's a part of it.
Blurry vision is like a side effect of gas station horse pills. So maybe, he got into one of those or something like that. I was just completely making that up.
You know what? We're gonna
the last thing I got for you, man. And then I'll move on to Rip. So Heston Kjerstad, he got beamed on 3 straight pitches in 3 straight innings. For you as a knuckleballer, if you're going to hit somebody, if your coach were to go out to you and say, hey, we need this guy clunked or something along those lines. No, I'm saying, are you hitting him in the back with a knuckleball?
No, he's throwing a damn fastball.
Yeah, come on.
Man.
He does throw a fastball, and it surprises you.
But imagine if Mickey was just like, you know what? I'm going to hit him with a knuckleball right here. I'm going to be the nice guy.
They'll never see it coming.
Exactly.
I honestly would laugh really hard if Mickey did that intentionally, hit a guy and was like, what's up? Come on.
Start giving him yo, you want some of this?
Yeah, you want some?
Yeah.
I'll do it again.
Yeah. Or Mickey will just be like, yeah, you want me to not try to hit you? Well, it's going to hit you. I don't know where this is going.
It takes a few tries. It goes at him, then cuts away a few times. You have to keep trying.
Yeah, just stay there.
It's like the Bull Durham scene when he's like, just hit the bull. And then he's like, I don't know where it's going. I swear to God.
Oh my goodness. Rip gave me a really nasty look when I was getting ready to ask that question. I respect it. So
I mean, let's just be honest. if he says he doesn't always have control of the knuckleball, and your manager's like, hey, hit him.
I mean,
Give me the pitch that has the most different outcomes, or the one that he might have the most control under. So, and Mickey, what are we getting the fastball up to nowadays? We still getting close to 90, or is it dropping off?
Yeah, I've been 88, 89 most of the year, so it's still there. A tick less than it's been in the past, but it's still right around there.
Well, Rocco's got some pills you can try if you need to get back on track. So
I've never done that, but like I have seen them.
Well, all I heard is that Rocco, he's got a new sponsorship coming from Gas Station Pills. I think that's where it's coming
Gas
next.
Station Horse Pills. And maybe we get to like 50K. Who knows what happens?
No, we're not. I am not condoning that. That is just.
Is that considered a PED if you use those to, get the followers up a little bit? Is that considered a PED?
Is that?
The followers? Never mind.
Yeah. Mickey, you missed earlier. A lot's happened. We're having this conversation. Kevin was trying to give us congrats for 10K, which shout out Papa Ostreicher again for the sodas. He dropped his laptop and might have a broken toe. We will let you know on X-rays after the show on what happens next. Hey, you know what? This has been a hot topic. We're not going to get into the whether it's right or wrong of this situation, because everyone has an opinion on this. It's with Trevor Bauer, and you are in the Mexican League. Have you faced their team?
We have faced their team. We did not face Bauer for those two series, unfortunately, but definitely wanted to see him pitch. He's been lighting up the stat sheet down here.
Yeah. So, and then maybe this gives good context, because again, for you, like the ultimate goal, you're continuing to play, you're trying to get back into affiliated ball, right? And continue your career. So can you give maybe a comp with the Mexican League right now as far as the level of competition overall specifically? Because I think people look at that and they're like, wow, it's incredible, which, he's done well, right? Yeah. No doubt about it. I'm not discrediting that, but there is a difference, and there's a sizable difference, right?
Yeah, I mean, you get two pretty good teams together, you're probably looking at a AAA game. I mean, you're looking at guys that are on our team. We had Alex Colome on our team, Fernando Abad. We got guys with 5-6 years of big league service time. Maybe on the back end of their careers, but I mean, they've still been there. So Robbie Cano's he's hitting about 440 in this league right now.
Yeah, what the hell's going on?
But, I mean, you get two pretty good teams together. It's going to be AAA level. Obviously, two bad teams playing against each other might be closer to AA. But, any day of the week, it'd be AA, AAA level. And then you also have the aspect of elevation here. I mean, you're playing in Mexico City, which is 7,500 feet. You're playing – our stadium here is the same as Coors Field. You got 6 or 7 stadiums that are over or higher than Coors Field. So I mean, you're taking that aspect into play too. So that creates some pretty crazy games and some pretty wild scores sometimes. But yeah, I mean, anywhere between AA and AAA at any given time.
So the one it's good insight. So specifically in some of the places, elevation, for people that don't know, in this situation, the ball does fly. So when you mentioned Colorado, Coors Field, that ball carries. So in this league, it's not a pitcher's league, Mickey, especially not for you. Sorry about that. So that's an upside. But to give the context of it, yeah, these are guys that are trying to get back to that level. And we've seen guys at the big leagues. There's a difference of it. There's no sugarcoating that. It's a very, very solid league. Good players, but the consistency level that you see at the big leagues, that's the top of the top. In other leagues too, Mickey, if I'm not mistaken, Mexican League, obviously we just talked about going over to Korea, playing over there, Japan, those are other good leagues, but there's a reason why everyone's trying to get to the majors. Yeah. It's
so much far and above. And I think you even see it this year from AAA to the big leagues. Like, guys are dominating at the AAA level, and then they get called up. And I think that gap between the AAA and big leagues is bigger than it's ever been. You're seeing a lot younger guys, not as experienced in AAA. So, some older guys might be dominating in AAA, and then they get the call up, and it's just a huge gap between between those levels. And again, like you said, I think that's why everybody's trying to get there.
Yeah, Uncle Mike talked about it. You know Uncle Mike, Elias. Yeah. So you remember our uncle. So we talked. Yeah, you heard of the guy. He was there. So it's always so weird now, Mick, where I am like being out of it now, where we're the players and he's walking by or you're there, and we're like, does he like us? Does he not? I don't know. All right.
Does he
He's
even
here.
know who I am?
Does he even know who we are? That's the other question that always goes through our mind. But he did. I got to sit down and one-on-one interview, and it's been great on the other side of not having to feel like the evaluation, because he is a really great guy and as we know, smart guy, very intuitive. And he was explaining in AAA right now the conversation where with all the injuries, some of those arms, like you remember the best team that we saw in 21 was the Durham Bulls, and their bullpen had 5 or 6 big league arms that were there that they were rotating through constantly. Right now, Mike was saying that they don't have the consistency of the arms in AAA. So for some of their players, the gap's even more because those AAA arms that are more rotation guys or, going up and down are in the big leagues because of all the injuries. I guess that makes sense too,
Yeah.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but all right. Well, we gotta have to ask a fun question here. Rocco, we're scheming. First off, do you want me to say about who he looks like first?
Yes. Yeah.
You have
Okay.
If go ahead.
Yeah. So it just came to my attention. Maybe it's because of the hat, dude, and the beard, but like you're kind of giving off like a Baker Mayfield doppelganger right now.
If you wore a 6 jersey like in South Florida right now, or just in Florida in general, you could probably pass for his twin. I would agree with that, right?
That's a new one. I haven't heard that one before. So
hell yeah.
I'll have to get it side by side and see how close it looks.
You know what? We'll edit one in later on. We'll do that. We'll edit one in, and hey, fantasy football right around the corner. we know. Don't tempt us with a good time, Rocco. We what's your question about with what he's seen?
So we saw it earlier in the chat because people who kind of see the Mexican League, they associate it with Eastbound and Down at times because it's such a great show. And you see the Kenny Powers entrance when he goes in, he's got the American flag around his shoulders and the fireworks kind of go up in the air. Maybe not to that level, but maybe you have seen something crazy at that level. What is the most obscure thing that you've seen playing down there?
Probably the opening ceremonies was the wildest thing we've seen. So, like, in America, like every Friday or Saturday night, there's like a fireworks show, 10 to 15 minutes post game. Well, the opening ceremonies for every single team here is like an absolute show. It's like people show up just for opening day because they put fireworks around the infield. It's like a 45-minute show. And all the Americans are like, we've never seen anything like this. Everybody's got their phones out. It's like a 4th of July on steroids for this entire opening ceremonies. So that's probably the wildest thing is just like the fireworks show that they do for opening night. Like they got the like laser shows going with like all kinds of things on the Jumbotron and like off the batter's eyes and just crazy stuff that you're like, what? Where am I right now? Are we about to play baseball or, and then like every team has cheerleaders. We played in Tijuana, which is right outside San Diego, and that place is pretty much a party in a stadium, and then there's a baseball game in the middle going on. The music, the only time the music is not playing is when the pitcher starts his motion, and then as soon as that ball hits the catcher's glove, it turns right back on. Like
that's so elite.
Turn it on and off and just keep going the entire night.
That's incredible.
My family was able to go to Tijuana. I was like, if you go to one series, you got to go to Tijuana because this place is just wild. And my father-in-law, who's been a Twins fan growing up, loves baseball. He's like, after the first game, he's like, I have never seen anything like this before in my life. It's just like,
so you know what that means, Mickey, is that the Ryan Ripken show is going to have to go to Tijuana.
Yes. You got to make an appearance.
Let's do it.
What? Yeah. So when are you going there? And what can you let everyone know the team you're on and if you're going back to Tijuana?
Yeah, we do go back to Tijuana middle of July. So You guys are welcome to go there.
We're going to Tijuana. We're still going to Tijuana.
Could you imagine?
Our team is the Cerros de Saltillo, so we're about in the middle of the country somewhere, but we have a pretty strong fan base here because we are the only pro sport in Saltillo. So, our fans are pretty loyal to us, but yeah, like I said, Tijuana is a whole different animal.
So what can you translate for us what your mascot is?
To be honest, I don't know. Like we have, it's like
That's a great answer.
Like a mythical creature type thing. So we have a couple mascots. So we have like a rabbit.
We have one of those. Kevin's our mythical creature of the Ryan Ripken show.
He really is.
We have like a mean looking rabbit as a mascot, and we have a dragon as another one. So it's like, I don't really, it's like a serpent, I think is what some people say. So, but yeah, there's no like, you type it into Google Translate and there's no like direct translation of a Serapero.
That's incredible.
No way.
That's like when in Norfolk, when we were the Pajaritos de Suerte or whatever we were. Well, there is some direct reference, but we can't talk about that. There is some lost in translation, which we've discussed that was the right name for the Norfolk's team for the night. But that's that. Okay, two things, Mick. We'll get you out of here. Let's real quickly talk about some good stories with it. You, just like me, had been around a lot of these guys specifically, or in this organization. Maybe just touch on right now the grind of which some of these guys have gotten up to. I mean, I've even mentioned, you saw it with me. Like I go back and say in 21, when Gunnar Henderson was hitting balls at 19 over the freeway or like the street behind the fields, we were around that group, like in an intimate setting at the real big league camp. Right, Mickey? So, you just want to touch on just kind of the evolution and your perspective on some of these young stars or these young prospects that evolved into stars.
Yeah. I mean, just being able to be there firsthand experience. I was one of those guys who gave up a home run to Gunnar Henderson in a live BP setting. I actually still have it on my Edgertronic camera on my phone, so I might have to send that to you.
Can you send that, please?
Can you see?
Yes.
Yeah, but just being able to know these guys and watch their preparation day to day and how they go about their business at such a young age. I mean, I think you obviously you saw the talent, but I think they were ahead of their time for their age. The Gunners, the Adleys, all the pitching that the Orioles had in the minor leagues. It was fun to watch them, develop throughout the years. We were both only there for a couple of years, but just watching those guys and learning from them and trying to help them where we could, and you could just see it right away, just every day being with them.
Yeah, it was evident. And I remember in that specifically spring training, it was. Sorry about that. We got some activity behind the scenes here, but it was you, me, Spencer Watkins, Connor Wade, and then some more of like quote unquote veteran presence people, and then it was Adley, Jordan Westberg, Taron Vavra, Gunnar Henderson, Maverick. I know I'm missing somebody, but very intimate group here. Very, very intimate group.
Yeah.
So it was great. Awesome time. Well, you are going to send me that Edgertronic video. I have to see that. So we will do that. And last thing, because we have to ask this, and this has been a controversial thing with the Ryan Ripken show here, Mickey. So if you're ready, and I apologize, this is sponsored by our friends over at Stuggies. But you're at a ballpark, Mickey. You're getting a dog. What condiments, Mickey Janis, are you putting on your hot dog?
On my hot dog, I'm going with, if they have spicy mustard, I'm going with some kind of spicy mustard. But if they just have regular mustard, I'm going with that. Probably some jalapenos and maybe some diced onions.
Okay.
Probably my type.
He just like me for
choice.
real.
Okay, so to give a little clarity to that, Mickey, Toppings are jalapenos and onions. I'll give the spicy mustard for sure
Okay.
as that. And then, I can live with
Yeah.
that. I'm a plain dog guy, man. That's how I am. But now the Stuggies, the crab mac and cheese, it's a different story. That's a topping specialty dog. Did you ever have that, by the way?
I don't think I have. No.
Would you like to try a crab mac and cheese dog? Would you be willing to do that?
Absolutely would. Yeah.
Hell
There's
yeah.
nothing I ever. There's very little things that food wise that I'm like, no, I can't try that. So definitely a foodie where I'll try just about anything for.
Yeah. Mickey is a great travel companion, by the way. Great travel companion. And we got a lot more in the works. And Mickey, you got it. When the season's over, you're going to come to Baltimore. You got to shoot me some dates. We'll go to a Ravens game. Maybe we'll check out the birds here with the Orioles.
Absolutely. Hopefully they're still playing late in the season after I'm done. We'll have to make something work.
Yeah, well, that's the goal here. I wish Minnesota was playing the Ravens, but yeah, it's for a different time. You're a Ravens fan in the AFC. That's all that matters.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Purple either way. We're going Vikings or Ravens.
Respect that.
So.
Boom.
Love that.
Boom. Yeah, and Kevin's in so much pain. I'm sorry.
I know we went to the Ravens game a couple years ago with you when the Vikings were playing, and my wife turned into a diehard Ravens fan. So she's like, every game, she's like, who are the Ravens playing? I'm like, come on, we're Vikings fans here still, but she's Ravens are top of her game now.
We turned her, and I'm so happy. And obviously, I mean, you guys are always welcome. You just let me know. We'll get it figured out here. And you can meet the gang when you come back here as well. And maybe in the meantime, we will also get some more research on some of these gas station pills for our friend. Kevin looks like he needs a little bit of some energy boost right now.
He needs a new toe.
Yeah, he does.
We're getting a little tingly feeling. So
I love how he's still rocking the one shoe look.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, Mickey, I appreciate you, man. I will bother you after this show ends. But best of luck down there. Be safe. Be good. And you got anything for me, you just give me a holler. We'll have to have you back on.
Absolutely. Sounds good, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. Mickey Janis, everybody.
appreciate you.
Appreciate it, Mickey.
Really a part of the Good Kid Club. He was right there. And
That was awesome.
He's one of the best guys you can be around. And if we really wanted to get into some other topics, but we'll simmer down.
Well,
that.
I tried, but you shot me down.
I didn't shoot you
Yes,
down.
you did. You said it's 12:15 and it's early. And
Well, okay.
I said,
I don't know if we could have gone full rip after dark, but
Yeah.
Kevin's sad, man. He's putting his body on the line for this
I
show,
know.
and that's what you do to
This is
him.
what I get.
Kevin
This
is
is what I
giving up
get.
his blood, sweat, and tears for this show.
I know.
Yeah.
Just
I
gonna say.
really want to see what my toe looks like, but I learned last time, especially
If
not
you-
taking a
if
sock off.
you took your
No,
sock
abs,
off
I
and put
cannot.
it on the screen, I'm
I
telling you,
know.
you're never beating the allegations.
I know, which
You're
is why
never
I'm
beating
not
the
doing
allegations.
it.
Pay for that, Kevin. We're not doing
So-
that for free on
I'm
the
not
show.
Save
doing
it
it.
for the
I'm not
members
doing
only.
Absolutely not.
Save it for
I'm not
members
doing
only.
it.
So just to give you guys context, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Earlier in the show, Kevin was helping us celebrate our 10K. Shout out again to Papa O. And we got these. In the process of trying to make this happen, Kevin dropped his laptop on his foot. He is not wearing a shoe now, and now there is a tingling sensation, and X-rays might be required.
Yeah, well, I'll let you know that I had to choose between the mic and the laptop, and I chose the mic.
You guys don't even see what this says. It's a pickle flavored soda by Lester's Fixins, and it said, "Y'all get your fixins."
They all say that. They all say
Mine
that.
doesn't. Mine doesn't.
Yours doesn't say y'all get your fixins.
No, it
No,
says
it's the-
shoveled and bottled in the USA. You
Oh,
idiot.
mine says mowed and bottled.
Oh,
Yeah,
mine
there
just
you
says
go.
y'all get your fixins.
Yeah, I
thought
think because
that-
ours are the same brand and theirs are the same brand.
Oh,
So, like,
they're
it's-
different
they're
brands.
different brands.
Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking. I was like, damn, is y'all's not the fixins?
Rip, have you seen Wanderlust when Paul Rudd talks about fixins?
The fixins.
Oh,
It's
Yeah,
great.
I
can't
know.
say the line,
I
but
mean, you can.
me and my buddy say it all the time.
It's a great
It's
movie.
So fun. It's such a
Kevin
funny
hasn't
line.
seen that either.
Also, real quick, just to kind of, because it just came out, shout out Rocco for pointing it out to me. The updated All-Star.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Kevin,
Screw you,
Kevin.
Rocco.
No, I'm not taking credit for Kevin.
Okay, so
Kevin
Kevin
was
told
me,
you,
yeah.
and
I
then you
just
showed me.
Whisper down the lane, Zach, and I
Okay.
literally
Yeah,
pointed to him.
played perfect telephone.
I said like this. I
Yeah.
pointed to Kevin. I said
Okay.
he did it.
Well,
All right.
All-Star voting update is out, and the Orioles now have 3 guys leading their position. Adley, Gunnar, and now Ryan Mountcastle leads first baseman in voting. Ends at 12 o'clock on Thursday. So make sure to go vote to get these guys to the second round. And let's have all three of them start in the All-Star game. Let's do it.
The leading vote getter at third base is Jose Ramirez, and we have a guy coming on at 1:30. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Correct.
Rick, that knows a thing or two about Jose Ramirez.
Yes.
And maybe we can talk about a little Jose
Good
Ramirez,
boxer.
Jordan Westberg, just like along those lines of who could be starting in the All-Star game.
Yeah,
Jose Ramirez.
Ramirez is going to start
Yeah,
from
we
the
know.
numbers, but Ramirez is one of the best players
I
in
was gonna
baseball
say.
that isn't talked about. And so Joe Noga of Cleveland.com, he's been covering the team since 1999. He's going to join the show for a little bit to talk about this upcoming series because I don't think people realize just how good the Cleveland Guardians are.
Everyone wants to talk about
The Yankees and the
Well,
even
I was going to say everyone's talking about Jose Ramirez. I just want to ask somebody about Stephen Kwan.
he's
so
since
hyped to talk about Stephen Kwan.
since Stephen Kwan's come back from the IL from his IL stint, he's been unbelievable so far.
He's been literally one of the best players in baseball. He's the same slugging percentage as Shohei Ohtani in that.
Oh
So-
yeah,
Oh yeah.
go ahead, Kev.
Yeah, just to add some more context to the All-Star votes, Jordan Westberg is in second, still behind Jose Ramirez for
Mhm.
third base.
Yep.
In the outfielders, you have Santander fifth, Kowser sixth, and Cedric Mullins eighth for votes.
All right.
So
Top-
three
top-
outfielders in the top 10.
Top 6 move on to second round of voting, I believe. So that would have 2 of them, correct?
Yeah, Santander and Kowser.
Yeah.
Where's Trout?
9.
He does this. I'm honestly surprised he's not higher. I feel like every year Trout gets injured, and yet he still ends up in the second round of voting.
Actually, Verdugo is ahead of Cedric Mullins by 350 votes.
Oh,
Hell
that's
yeah.
wow.
Said he's comeback tours not just on the field, it's in the All-Star game voting.
There's a lot of parity, though, which is nice to see because last year, you remember, the Rangers, they made up basically the entire infield when
They
it
did.
came to all-star starters. But right now, and I know this isn't set in stone, but the leading vote getters, you got Kyle Tucker in left, Judge in center, Soto in right. Then you have Altuve at second, Gunnar at short, Jose Ramirez at third, Mountcastle at first, and then Adley behind the plate. And then you have Yordan Alvarez as the DH.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, and also, by the way, it's a good time to point out that the Astros still have some really good hitters. I think the Orioles fans found that out here for a second.
And they were
But-
without Kyle Tucker. It's a damn
Yeah.
good team down there. People forget.
Very, very good team. And also, how about Mountie being in second? Mountie, and who knows? Maybe we can ask Mountie about that in the future.
You don't say.
Maybe we'll ask him about it in the future. But for Ryan Mountcastle, he's had a great season so far. A lot of these Orioles, but I'm really looking forward to Joe coming on to talk about the Guardians. Why? They actually have the best win percentage, guys, in the American League. They only trail the Philadelphia Phillies in win percentage. They are 49-26 on the season right now. They honestly, of all the teams, they might be the best story because there was so much uncertainty going into this season with them. What's going to happen? Are they still have that youth movement? They had that kind of underperformance last year. And people forget Shane Bieber was lost earlier. Like that's just, everyone's got injuries, right? But look how well that they've played so far. And the Guardians are coming in here, which is going to be a jam-packed week. But before Joe comes on, maybe let's talk about Heston Kjerstad here for a little bit. So for the next 5 minutes, Kjerstad, as we know, has done everything possible down to AAA level. The conversation, guys, is going to go to, well, will he get his at-bats in this run around right now? Especially Austin Hayes has started to swing the bat, pick it up. We talked about Cedric Mullins being able to get on a roll here. If there was a positive again on this road trip, especially in Houston, I should say, said he did very well in Houston and had that impactful series against New York. So where you're looking at Anthony Santander just hits home runs left and right. So the question's going to be, where does Heston continue to slide in? Because I don't see Tony Taters losing at bats. I don't see Cedric Mullins losing his at bats. And then we have the Ryan O'Hearn, Ryan Mountcastle. Every righty is going to have Ryan O'Hearn. And I guess that's where I'm trying to figure out, guys.
He's taking Kowser's at bats.
You think that's going to happen?
That's what's going to happen, I think, because I don't think they would have brought him back up if they did not Michael Elias had made comments about how they didn't really feel like he's gotten an extended look in the outfield yet. You know, they still felt like every time he comes up, he gets, you know, shots here and there, but nothing consistent. And I think with Cowser struggling at the plate, obviously he's had some big home runs recently, but overall the numbers have dropped. I think that you are going to see them give him an opportunity, even though the defense will be a little bit of a step back from Cowser in left field. I think they're going to give Kerstead an opportunity to go say, hey, I can hit my way onto this team and my bat will be more valuable than the slight step back in defense. Does it mean that I think he starts for Cowser all year? He takes a spot? No, but I think that's where they're going to find opportunities because like you said, you can't sit O'Hearn. You can't sit Santander right now. Mullins is playing great. Even Hayes is playing really good ball. So it's like, it's hard to find a spot. And the only spot I could see him getting opportunities is where Cowser is getting shots.
Yeah. And again, look, that's the business of it. And
Yeah.
Heston, I don't have his AAA stats put up right now. He was at the top of almost everything offensively from what you need to be at from a production standpoint. So when you're looking at Heston Kjerstad, you're looking at a guy like we've talked about that has such high upside, especially in the power department overall, you know, and I've told you guys this before. And when we had him on and Heston, his game is he uses the whole field just as well. And that's what makes him dangerous is that he has power to all parts of the field. And that's a bat then that could be able to make an impact. But the biggest thing is if you can't get in rhythm as a young player, that's where things can be challenging as a team. And Rocco, like that's what we talked about. And before, obviously, we'll get to the Guardians preview here just in a second. But that's essentially what Heston has been had to deal with. That's what all these young players have had to deal with. If we're talking about with Cowser, Heston, Stowers, they've had to be patient because Norby as well. People have had to be patient because there's a lot of talent still on that Baltimore roster.
Yeah, quickly before we move on to the Guardians preview, you look at Heston's at bats in his first game getting called up this season. He went 0 for 4. Okay, he had an opportunity there, but that's his first game back in the bigs. So you have to think about that, the patience, the level it takes to make that jump and get back to the bigs. And then he didn't play for another 3 days. And then after that, he didn't play for a handful of days. It was May 1st, then May 3rd, then May 7th and May 8th and May 11th. So he only got to play in back-to-back games one time this season. That's tough on any player to try to get into a rhythm. He had 2 hits in that span. I think he went 2 for 15 or 2 for 14 overall. So, but his sample size is not big enough. If you're going to bring Heston Kjerstad up here, especially the way he's performed at the minor league level, hitting 300, hitting 16 home runs, 58 RBIs. He's been a stud this season in AAA.
Yep.
Give him a chance. See what he can do with a bigger sample size than he currently has.
Yeah, and I think too, it's like it's so hard to get into a groove when you're not getting consistent at bats. I mean, Ryan, I'm sure you can speak to it too, where it's just like, you know, you can't figure out, you know, just where you are. And if you're sitting for 2 days, you get 1 at bat, then you sit for 4 days, and you get a start, and then you sit for another 4 days. It's just there's not a lot. And yes, I mean, for a lot of these prospects, we know the Orioles have an abundance of guys, an abundance of talent, and that path is going to, you know, it's going to be more blocked than in these other organizations. Heston probably starts like in 28 of 30 teams.
He's big. There's no doubt he's big league ready. And the last thing I'll say with this is that Heston Kjerstad, when you look at it, and you mentioned the at bats, it's one thing if you're a veteran. That's when we talked about roles when everyone's like, throw Ramon Arias off the team. Ramon knows how to play if he sits for a while, and he brings a different element to the team. In the other case for Heston, he's trying to figure it out at the big league level. So it's very hard to do when you're trying to figure out how to be a big leaguer while also trying to figure out how to be in a different role than you've never been in your career so far. So, hey, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. It's the Ryan Ripken Show. We do this on Mondays and Thursdays live. And then we have the post-game lives with Kevin and Zach. So they will be on later tonight. Again, differently from the Ryan Ripken Show. But guys, let's get to our guest here, because this is what we like to do here. We like to bring in guests to give you the perspective, because you don't want to hear it from us. You want to hear it from the experts on who the Orioles are facing. So joining the show here now with us, it's Joe Noga of Cleveland.com. And Joe knows this team in and out. He's been covering it for over 2 decades. I think, right, Rocco, since 1999. Does that sound about right?
Why don't we just ask him?
Why don't we just ask him? Let's bring Joe on here and ask him himself. Joe Noga, everybody. Joe.
Hey,
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey guys,
Hey, so
thanks
can
for
you
having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time. So can you clarify how long you've been covering Cleveland baseball up there?
I covered the team back in '99. I went down to spring training for about 4 years there, and then there was a gap. I went away, covered some local news, and did that, and then back starting in 2013, came back to Cleveland.com and been covering the pro sports beat since 2016. Did the Cavs and the Indians back then in the NBA Finals and World Series in the same year, so that was a pretty good year for Cleveland
Very
that
good.
year.
Yeah.
And been on full time on the Major League Baseball beat for Cleveland.com since 2016.
So you all the way around, well versed. So if you want anything essentially with Cleveland based, Joe's your guy.
Yeah, big day. They just hired Cavs just hired Kenny Atkinson. So
Hey,
big
now.
day.
Yeah, and I've been so tied up in getting ready for this big Orioles series that I haven't even followed up on Chris Fedor, our Cavs writer. He's got you all covered there. So a lot of fun stuff going on in Cleveland right now.
Yeah, it certainly is. And let's just dive right into this Orioles Guardians series now, shall we? I just said before you came on, the Guardians have the best win percentage in the American League, and yet it feels like no one's really talking about them enough. And having a first-year manager with Stephen Vogt has been tremendous. Everything is rolling on all cylinders. The name that people probably know the most is going to be Jose Ramirez. But can you specifically touch on what has been a couple reasons why you think that this Guardians team has just been so successful to start this season?
It starts at the top with Stephen Vogt. I think the culture and the tone that he's set in the clubhouse since coming in has been great. He allows these guys to be themselves and come out and play sort of wild and free. And there's chaos on the bases. They were a team that didn't hit home runs last year. Now they've got a little bit more power in the lineup and guys who are producing in that way. And a lot more is happening on the bases. They're scoring runs a lot more regularly. So, it starts at the top with Stephen Vogt in terms of why this is happening. Then you got to look at the bullpen. The bullpen is the best in baseball right now, and he has leaned on them so hard because of the injuries to the starting pitching rotation. Every now and then Tanner Bibee will come out with a 10 strikeout game or get you deeper. But mostly these starters through the first couple of months of the season were only going 3, 4, maybe 5 innings a night. And the bullpen has been just leaned on so heavy to piece together, 4, 5, 6 innings in a game. And they've come through and they've responded tremendously. Cade Smith, the rookie coming out of nowhere, making the club at the end of spring training when they broke camp and they didn't even have a spot for him because they said we're going to look for a veteran arm. If we can find somebody on the waiver wire, then you don't have a spot. So he's sitting in a hotel room playing cards with his family, the night before the opener, and they come and tell him, hey, you're on because we didn't find anybody else. And he comes out and he strikes out 5 guys in 2 innings in his major league debut. It's just been that kind of discovering guys like that and people stepping in and filling roles that way. David Fry coming in and contributing all over the diamond and behind the plate and just tearing up left-handed pitching this year. He's been just a revelation in terms of that kind of stuff. And like you said, Jose Ramirez is leading the charge. When your best player on your team is, running a hard 90 down the line to beat out a fielder's choice and get a run across the plate, the young guys in the dugout see that and they react to that and they play off of that, and it feeds the energy on this team.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because your stars can be that kind of catalyst to keep things going. And if they're playing well, then everything else can follow. But also, I'm glad you mentioned it. Good teams, great teams have players you have no idea about, and they overexceed expectations, and they're going out there, and it just seems like they're passing the torch consistently. And the starting pitching, the Orioles have had a lot of injuries. People know that. That's no secret. The Guardians lost Shane Bieber early on, and I think that people forget that, his caliber of pitching. So appreciate you mentioning that. Rocco, I think you have the next follow-up question.
Yeah, Joe, first and foremost, thanks for joining us. Sorry for the late email last night, but thank you for getting back to me in timely fashion and doing this. We really appreciate it.
What's that?
I'm a baseball writer. I don't sleep. In midnight emails.
Yeah,
I'm a
listen,
baseball
damn
writer.
right.
I don't sleep. We're up until midnight anyways.
That is what we like to hear, man. We love the dedication and the passion. I want to ask you about the guy that is leading All-American League third baseman in All-Star voting, and that is Jose Ramirez. I think your casual baseball fan or maybe casual sports fan might think of Jose Ramirez from one moment, and that's the Tim Anderson fight. But this guy is so much more. He's so talented. He's so good. There is a reason why he is leading all third basemen in the American League in vote getting. What does he truly mean to the Guardians? What he's able to bring to the table? And how much does this fan base, the Guardians fan base, truly love this guy?
He means everything to the team, and he means everything to the fans here in Cleveland. They just had 100,000 fans come out for this 3-game series against Toronto over the weekend, and when they play that Jose soccer chant throughout the stadium, everybody gets into it. They love him, not just because of what he does on the field. That's obvious. He's been on fire at the plate since the start of May. But the fact that at the beginning of the 2022 season, he said, I want to be there. I want to finish my career there. I want to, take less money that's on the table from anywhere else I could go. And I want to finish my career in Cleveland. I want to win a World Series there, and I want to go to the Hall of Fame in Cleveland. The fans in Cleveland saw that. They know that that's who Jose Ramirez is, and they love him regardless. You bring up the Tim Anderson thing. That's if that's all you know about Jose Ramirez, then you're doing yourself a disservice. Watching this guy play the game, watching him run the bases, watching the passion that he plays with, watching his helmet fly off every time he dives into a base. We're very lucky here in Cleveland to be living in a time when we can see that. I've lived through 2 LeBron James stints with the Cavaliers. I've seen the best of the best on the court, and at the time I'm watching it and he makes plays, I say to myself, we're lucky that we're seeing this now. We're fortunate to be able to do this. I feel the same way about Jose Ramirez and covering him on a daily basis.
And I think a lot of people feel that similarly about a Gunnar Henderson in Baltimore. Again, a player that just embodies the city, the team, plays with their hair on fire, and they bring that type of swagger and confidence every time they step on the field. That's what we're looking at. And also, for those that just are tuning in, we got Joe Nogo of Cleveland.com that is everything for Cleveland sports. He's your guy, but specifically, he's our guy today because the Guardians and Orioles are set to square off for a great series. All right, there is one other player, though, Joe, that has been playing really well. And, Zach, we were marveling over him right now. There's a lot that have been playing well, but another bat in that lineup that has just been red hot.
Yeah, I mean, everyone, obviously, as you said, they know the Jose Ramirez, is the star of the team, and he has been for a little bit. But recently, and especially this year, watching Steven Kwan play baseball has just been so much fun, and especially what he's doing since coming off the injured list. Can you just kind of talk about if there's anything you've noticed that he's changed, or if this is just he's finally putting it all together and this is kind of, coming to fruition of this is what Steven Kwan can be? Because, man, the last 17 games hitting over 460, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs. It's just incredible to watch.
Well, I mean, if you go back to his rookie year, his first series when he was playing in Kansas City, and we asked Terry Francona, how exciting this could all be. This is a guy he was on base, 10 out of 15 plate appearances. So it was ridiculous, just the number. And he hadn't swung and missed in his first 50 plate appearances. It was the numbers were just ridiculous. And you could project that and say, wow, if this guy, grows and matures and becomes, you're looking at, a Barry Bonds level type, eye at the plate, the way he gets on base. And now you're 2-3 years later, and he's maturing. He's learning the league, and he's learning everybody and how to react to how other pitchers are attacking him. Now he goes up to the plate with a specific game plan for every at bat. And it's not just that he has that and that he sticks to it. He executes that game plan. We saw him over the weekend. He's got 3 home runs in his last 5 games. He's going up there and hunting pitches that he knows he can hit out of the park because he knows he's going to get them from a particular pitcher. And Stephen Vogt said it in a post-game I believe Saturday after the game, he's not missing mistakes in the zone. He makes you get in the strike zone. And then when you make a mistake in the strike zone, he hammers you now. And that wasn't part of his game the last 2 seasons. And now there's a little bit of a power surge.
Yeah, I think he already has more home runs than he did last year. I think he's up to
it's a career high 7 right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say a career high 7. So it really is just incredible to watch him, and obviously playing against him as Orioles, hoping he doesn't continue this stretch. But as a baseball fan, it's so much fun to watch.
It's fun. We appreciate good baseball
Yeah.
here, and I mean, Joe, I grew up around the game. Maybe at some point, I don't think I was in Cleveland. I was maybe at Cleveland as a little kid. I used to have blonde hair too, and then the Ripken hair gene is brutal, to say the least.
Well,
so I'm screwed.
I'm right there with you, Ryan. Don't worry. I was never blonde, but you couldn't tell.
But so here's the thing: is you can pull off that look. You know, the thing is, like, I got these really bushy eyebrows. Like, I'm getting carried away. I'm a little worried. And there's a little bit of a spot back here. I digress. Well, I'm a little nervous.
My advice is to steer into the swerve. Just go with it. Just steer into it.
And you know what? I think right now I'm gonna rock it as long as I can, because I think I can look presentable, right? You know,
we just hit 10,000 subs. We could do our 10,000 sub special as I shave your head.
That is
reverse mohawk.
There we go.
You know, Austin Powers. How about no, Kevin? You don't know that. All right. Well, you got 2 questions. We'll get you out of here, Joe. But Kevin likes to ask, because we really value hearing the perspectives from different people around the country on their teams, but also maybe kind of in reverse of, is that what you wanted to allude to, Kevin?
Yeah, Joe, I think it's so interesting, especially when, we have these teams facing off against each other. How does Cleveland view the Orioles right now, their ascension over these last couple of years, the players that they have? What's kind of the Cleveland perspective on Baltimore right now?
Well, I think you got to admire the way that they've gone about building their club from just our perspective, from the Cleveland perspective, doing it through the draft, not only getting those high draft picks, but hitting on all of them and having them, find success early in their careers in the big leagues. It's not like, maybe Jackson Holliday's the outlier there, up and down to start with, but he's got a career in front of him. It won't take long for him to be where he needs to be. But Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, obviously coming from the same program that Stephen Kwan came from. It's interesting to see where some of these front offices, they all sort of draft from the same programs and the reasons why, and you look at the kind of players that they are, and why they're successful. I think one of the things that, in looking at Baltimore, you just look at that lineup, and as a pitching staff, you're wondering where the break is, where the rest is going to come. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8 are pretty tough too. There's a lot of runs out there. It's a deep lineup. It's a lineup that's going to wear you out, and you worry about how deep into your bullpen you're going to get by the second, third game of a series. And that's a real concern when you've got a pitching staff like Cleveland, and a couple of the guys have been known to go short in their starts. So it could be a long series if they get into it early. But Tanner Bybee on the mound to start the series is something that I think is a little bit reassuring for Stephen Vogt and the pitching coaches.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest here. In Baltimore, they kind of won a bad series from Cleveland. For the Orioles just got swept in Houston. Season's over. Season's
over. Season's over. If you listen to fans here, we just got through
pack it up.
85.
Pack it up.
They didn't just win the series versus the Phillies or the Yankees and dismantle Wheeler and Heel, which is going to happen, by the way, to all the best pitchers out there. But Joe, the World Series is won today on June 24th, so we can kind of lock that in. It's kind of already done, right?
Well, what they're 24-13 against teams with records better than 500. The Guardians are 17-9. I mean, that's this is going to be a good matchup. This is going to be a good series, and a lot to look forward to there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And 2 things now. One, let us know before I ask my final question to get you out of here, of just where people can find your work specifically, because I know I already have people that are asking, hey, where can they find out more with what you're doing, and specifically what do you want to plug that people can find you talking about the Guardians?
Best way is cleveland.com/Guardians. That's the homepage where all of my work on cleveland.com goes. We have a podcast, myself and Paul Hoynes, the veteran, the future Hall of Fame, sports writer for cleveland.com, has covered Major League Baseball for 43 years. Hoynesy and I do a podcast every weekday for about 20 minutes just to catch you up on Guardians news. And on Twitter or X, if you will, it's Joe Noga CLE on Twitter or X if you want to find me there.
Boom. And you know what? We're going to have people go bother you there just because I'm going to bother you in the future, Joe, if that's okay, if you don't mind.
Great.
But you might not. You're not in Baltimore right now, I'm assuming, correct?
No, Hoynesy's on this trip, and then I'll pick the Guardians up when we go to Tampa again later on in July.
Okay, I was gonna say if you were here, we could have met up, maybe gone and got a hot dog at the stadium, which kind of leads me into this question here. So this is
I was in Baltimore last year for the series there when the Guardians won 2 or 3, and it was so hot. I was miserable. So, but go on.
Yeah. So, well, thank you for that tidbit. And just newsflash, it's hot again today. It was very
brutal.
And even in this,
Didn't get better.
It did not get better. So maybe if humidity is not your thing, then this is not the series for you. But I got to ask you this, and again, it's controversial, and I apologize, but it's brought to you by our friends at Stuggies. They're located at Section 69 at the stadium here. Okay, Joe, you're at the ballpark. Say you want to enjoy a hot dog, okay? You can either add a condiment on or leave it plain. Joe Noga, what is going on your dog?
Bertman's Stadium Mustard. It's the mustard you get. It's a spicy brown mustard you get here in Cleveland. I don't know. They have Stadium Mustard or Bertman's. There's a feud between the two, and I can't have a hot dog without Stadium Mustard. That's hot dogs, sausages. Those are my. Stadium Mustard is it can't be the yellow mustard. It can't be like the Grey Poupon or whatever, like the French style or whatever. This has to be the spicy brown Cleveland area Stadium Mustard.
Hey, you know what? I love that you're talking about spicy mustard, like Cleveland's, like, you're a Cleveland guy. You got to rep out. Like everyone here, they'll throw Old Bay on everything here. Not a condiment, by the way. Is Old Bay a condiment? No, it's not. We don't. I don't know how we
it's a way of life in Maryland.
It is a way of life in Maryland. And actually, Stuggies is known, Joe, it has a specialty dog. It's a crab mac and cheese. So Marylanders like myself, I get in there. I love a good Stuggies crab mac and cheese.
The one thing I won't do is put ketchup on it. I refuse.
Thank you.
Won't do ketchup. Sorry.
Thank you.
Hot dog is mustard, or I'll just. People have been known to take the small packets of the Stadium Mustard from the ballpark and take them with them on the road because that's what they want to put on their hot dogs. It's a way of life, like you said. Like the Old Bay Stadium Mustard is what it is here.
Yeah, I do that with Old Bay. I have a mini Old Bay dispenser in my backpack. I take it everywhere with me. Not to put on hot dog, although maybe I could try that. I've never tried it before.
Joe is a ketchup guy. I can promise you I will no longer be reaching out to you for Ryan Ripken show requests at 11 p.m. at night. We're done here, man.
You mean I won't get midnight emails from guys in Baltimore? Oh,
and there it is. There it is.
Yeah, air out the dirty laundry here. But Joe, we're glad you did answer Rocco. You don't have to answer him anymore. But we really appreciate you taking the time. And again, everyone, you can find everything that Joe does at cleveland.com. We'll put out the podcast again so people can find it because you're fantastic. And I'm going to have to come to Cleveland. I've never tried that spicy mustard. Not that I'm the biggest condiment guy. I eat my dog plain.
Road trip time.
Yeah.
So we're there.
Come to Cleveland, Dollar Dog Night, and just fill up on hot dogs and Bertman's Ballpark Mustard. It's the best.
Hell yeah. Well, Joe, appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hope it's a great series, and look forward to hopefully talking to you in the future.
Thanks, guys.
Joe Noga, everybody.
Appreciate you, Joe.
Appreciate it. We'll have to go to Cleveland after Tijuana.
Ripken, if you drop that bat one more time while we're doing this show, I might beat you with it.
I didn't know that you had me giving Rocco the loser thing on camera.
What?
That's a clip.
Yeah, you
That's a
missed
clip.
that.
I didn't even.
we got
dude,
we're gonna have to do a tally of how many people have voted for which one so far.
Well, I can tell you how many people have voted for Relish.
Zero. This was a big day for
No,
me.
no, there was one person voted.
Not,
for
no,
Relish.
no one's ever gone
not
sole
pure
Relish.
Relish. I don't
Yeah,
count it. I don't count it.
People will say they'll put
Westy
everything.
said he roots for it in the hot dog race, but said it's like the worst thing ever, which I took as a like half win. And then Cole said that he does mustard and relish.
Yeah.
But
This
no
is a
one
big
is
day
no
for
one
mustard.
has ever said pure relish, and I'm like 0 for 30.
You know what? I feel
Tuna,
like
baby.
we need to do this just on the show live, and it's each of us eats 3 hot dogs. We get one with ketchup, we get one with mustard, we get one with relish, and we put them down, and we just give our live reactions.
Well,
because
you know how,
so
that's
we're
going
just
to go.
eating
Is
hot
I'm
dogs?
going to say
Yeah.
relish is the winner. Zach's going to say mustard. You're going to say ketchup. Ryan's not going to participate.
maybe recency
and
bias will help.
No, I would.
No.
You know what? I told like for those things, if it's a Cleveland's finest, I will try that spicy mustard.
Yeah,
I
that's fine.
am a part of the experiences here. But if I have my choice, yeah, give me the plain dog.
Are you part
'cause-
of the Pittsburgh experience? You're going to have a Pittsburgh salad?
So dumb.
Rip, I think
the
what we
dumbest
I
thing
think what we
ever.
do is we get a van or like get a bus or figure something out, and we just road trip
We're getting the
different-
Winnebago.
to
Yeah, we are
we're
getting
the
we
Winnebago.
are getting to Winnebago.
and,
that
and
is
getting
happening.
and going to ballparks and obviously pushing out content there, doing interviews, which would be sick because we could definitely
Sick.
do that. But we need to try the best food item in every single ballpark, find out what that is, and like try it because I feel like that is the content that the people want out.
Dude, you are so driving the first leg to Tijuana. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. Okay, well, as long as I'm not driving back, I'll get us there, but I'm not driving.
Why do I feel like Kevin's gonna get lost in Tijuana?
When I
Dude, if we
lived in
leave
LA, my
Tijuana
friend wanted to
without
go with
Tijuana.
me. When I lived in LA, my friend wanted to go with me to Tijuana, just take the drive down and go, which would be a very long drive. But we didn't end up going. We ended up going to Palos Ranchos Verdes.
What?
Or-
Speaking of, so you said ranchos. It reminded me of ranch, and it reminded me of Joe putting. Oh, hold on. Did you guys see the thing that he did? The monstrosity he made yesterday?
we did, Joe. We saw
Did
it.
you see that, Kevin?
I think
he
that's
was-
worse.
he was
I think that's
hungry, it was-
worse than anything I've ever done.
That was Kevin. Listen, I forgive you for all your food.
It was a
takes that
snack.
you've ever had. That I don't care if it was.
Although
a
I will
snack.
say I will defend Joe on this because I have what I call the Kevin special.
Can we?
Okay.
Can I send this to you, Zach?
Yeah,
so we can
but
put it in
okay,
StreamYard?
the
I'll-
Kevin special
Kevin's
is a soft taco shell with cheese, and I just eat it.
I did that when I was like 9.
Yeah, and it's still good now.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I
Do you do
forgot
the
to
slices
mention.
of cheese? You
Zach.
can't do slices.
I'm
Nah,
just
we
sending you
shred. You
this.
should
Yeah,
just like
that
a
was gonna
pizza.
make- yeah,
mhm.
okay. I was
Zach,
gonna
if you
make
could throw this in StreamYard, what I just sent you.
No.
I just sent you the link.
Okay. Well,
I just texted it.
yeah.
It needs to be put in.
Yeah, and
If you log into the YouTube, he'll do it.
Reds, appreciate you joining. We did talk about the All-Star voting
Touche.
updates. We did talk about it. And to recap what we've done so far on the show, which we will put out on the audio version on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast there. We've talked so far about what have we talked about so far here going back. We had a little introduction to a little bit of motivation with Michael Phelps.
Yep.
We talked a little bit of MLB news and notes. We talked about Heston Kjerstad. We had Mickey Janis, MLB legend, former Oriole knuckleballer. And then now we're talking about hot dogs.
Joe, you should be ashamed of yourself for ever putting this. This is a Joe Radke special, and he claims it was a snack. Listen, why? Who in their right mind would make that as a snack?
The triple glizzy burrito.
Yeah.
Dude, I might become a staple for the Ryan Ripken show. Triple glizz.
Yeah, exactly.
The-
What do you know? What is that, Joe?
I mean,
The tri glizzy trifecta.
Glizzy try.
Hell yeah. But you know what, dude? You know, we can if people rip on Joe, we rip on Joe because Joe is one of
Yeah,
us.
we're the only
Literally-
ones allowed to rip on Joe. No one else.
Yeah, no one else. And everyone's allowed to rip on Kevin and Rock.
Oh, yeah.
Cube's down for the triple glizzy burrito.
Hell yeah. Well, maybe they'll add it to the menu.
Yeah, which I know
Snuggies.
Joe's wanted us to talk about this. He put out a poll about blue cheese or ranch. Give me neither. Give me
Yeah,
celery.
neither.
Well,
Give me celery.
that's. I mean,
Well, of course you're gonna have the celery, but that's not.
I'm about to go scorched earth. Blue cheese is my least favorite food on earth.
Okay, it's
Well,
not
that's-
okay.
that's
That's
okay.
that's okay. That's not scorched earth, Kevin.
Joe
Good Lord.
asked if giving us a choice for wings, blue cheese or ranch.
Yeah,
Neither.
and I
I'm gonna
said,
go-
and
yeah,
I
you
said
said-
neither.
That's okay. But
Yeah, that's not
if you were to pick
controversial.
one, you gotta. I mean, I picked one, and it's blue cheese, and I usually I like my wings with blue cheese, but I saw people in there getting very offended that we picked anything at all. My first bite of a wing will be without anything because I want to taste it for what it is. I do
I
like
agree
the
with
flavoring
that.
of blue cheese. I think that the first bite you have of a wing, as someone who thought about creating a wing app called Winging It, and I still have it in my phone, the ratings, and it still has hope. But like, love wings that much. It's like first bite of a wing needs to be without any blue cheese or ranch. Why are you pointing at me?
How do we
So
get
did
here?
did you just casually drop that you're planning on creating an app
Also,
that
what
just rated
ratings?
wings? Isn't it just your wing ratings?
It
So-
could be everybody's.
So
but
you
that's-
download an app and you can just see what wings Rocco was.
No, it was in the works, and then I realized I don't have the steady hands or technology to pull up a procedure like that. So
Rocco's
I
like,
decided not to.
download this app. You can see what I rate wings.
Download Winging It.
It's just 17 restaurants all in Baltimore. It's released worldwide to see which wings I like.
Kissling's at the top
There-
with like a
there's-
9.7.
There's something behind this, and we're gonna think about it a little bit more. We're gonna think.
I
about
actually,
it a little-
my friends and I had an app idea. It was called Tonight Life, and I'm mad because all my friends are computer science majors and I'm not.
Did they
and
create it without you?
no,
Oh,
I
I was
wanted
like,
I
oh my
wanted to
God.
create it, and they were like, "Yeah, but we're just too lazy to do it." Essentially, it was, all right. Imagine you want to go out for the night, Zach. I know you are an expert at this, so
Not in Canton.
Okay, you know,
not in Canton.
not in Canton, correct.
Imagine that,
Okay.
and you want to know what places are like vibing, what places have the vibes, what places are popping, what places have the like good vibes, but you don't know. So this app is essentially, it's like a Waze, Waze, like the
Yes.
the direction place. Essentially, it's like a real time, like you can put in a rating for like, oh, this place is, and like you put your rating, the how many people are there, the vibes, what's going on, and you get a reward system, kind of like Waze does, based off of like how many things you put in. And so, Zach, if you were going out to a bar and you wanted to know what places were like hopping, you could go on the app and say, oh, this place isn't really doing too much tonight, but this place is like the place to be. And you would know that in real time instead of having to show up to 5 different places to find the place you want to go.
Kevin, Zach doesn't know his name after the Orioles play. How is he going to open his phone up, look at an app, go to
Detailed
the app,
rating.
and go to a detailed rating on what
Okay.
he's not able to read after the
Okay.
game's over.
In my defense,
Yeah, this is
I
exactly
can't
it. A
read
way
before the
of a
game.
ways for vibes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I love
Exactly.
the idea. I think
Yeah.
it's great. But
Yeah.
like for a guy like Zach, absolutely not.
I
It's
do
just
want
failure.
to. I just want to point out real fast that
How do we get
we
here?
are now an hour and 40 minutes into this, and Kevin is still just one shoe in it.
I'm actually putting more pressure on my foot.
I was gonna say you.
I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I can't even say that.
You know what? I'm gonna stop this right now for this little conversation because one, I'm learning maybe we need to have. You talk about the creativity ideas. We talk about creative moments. The amount of times you guys have talked about some creativity with wing apps and vibes out, which I'm all about a good time being out having some vibes. Also, frozen orange crushes, good ones.
Yeah.
Enough on a hot day in this economy, can't be beat. But especially a deep Eddie orange. Oh gosh, gonna be at Pickles tonight doing pregame. If anyone's down there, come say hello.
I'll be in.
Yeah,
I'll be in.
let's quickly before we get out of here because we're running out of time. You know what? I will do the breakdown for a trade candidate. I'll do it after the show. I think it's just a lot going on here. We'll end with just like that one Ravens note then because I think we've got a lot of stuff at the moment.
Yeah, it's actually a hot topic right now on Twitter.
Okay, so we'll end with that one. But also, by the way, Holy Shirts and Pants members, you want to see a little of a breakdown of a trade candidate? First one up, Eric Fetty. So we're going to fully break down why he could be a great fit for a lot of teams, specifically the Orioles. What's up?
No, I said there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, let's get into this real quickly for the Ravens news, and then we will move on with our day. And if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. We have talked a lot of Orioles here so far. We talked baseball with Mickey Janis and what's happening down in the Mexican League. Gave examples to competition. A lot of people have asked about Trevor Bauer. So just giving more context on that. And now we are going to talk a little bit about the Ravens mount. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Ravens Mount Rushmore has been a topic of discussion on Twitter or X at this current moment. Is that fair to say?
Mhm.
And the list that I was seeing out there, I don't know if we have the photo right here. We do. According to Kevin's list, I know it's not Kevin's list. According to NFL throwback, but Kevin graciously shared it on his account. You have Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, Lamar Jackson, Jonathan Ogden. Now, fellas, you would wonder, and again, that's a great list. Lamar Jackson, 2-time MVP. I understand Ray Lewis, Hall of Famer. Jonathan Ogden, Mr. Raven, Hall of Famer. Ed Reed, Hall of Famer. But then some people I feel like are getting caught up with the other quarterback that was in Baltimore, at least for time being. And that's where this debate, I think, got sparked.
Yeah.
And that's around where Joe Flacco rolls into it, because he still is the Baltimore Ravens quarterback record-wise with those things.
Mhm.
He's the quarterback
That's
that was
tough.
Super Bowl MVP. So where do we stand?
I wasn't expecting it to kind of take the turn that it did. This came out like 3 or 4 days ago, and like I think no one on any team picked it up or NFL throwback. It was all 32 teams. It wasn't just Baltimore. And I put it out late last night, and it went and go. For me though, I think there are probably 8 names you could throw on this list. Now there are only 4 spots, but Ogden, Lewis, and Reed are your like shoo-in. You're not taking those guys off.
No debate.
To me, I think, and this is a debate, I think that Mount Rushmore should be reserved for retired players or guys that aren't playing anymore.
I like that.
Because I think, look, we can say, yes, Lamar will probably be on there one day. I think that's not a stretch at all. But, you could argue Terrell Suggs. You could argue Flacco. Justin Tucker's also a current player, but I saw some people arguing Justin Tucker. I even saw some Marshall Yanda in the conversation too. If we're going retired players, I'm picking between Flacco and Suggs for that 4th spot.
Mm-hmm.
Flacco, I mean, obviously Suggs won the Super Bowl there too, but
Flacco's not technically retired yet either.
That's true. Okay, so I guess all right, my pick is Suggs. That's true.
So your pick would have to be Suggs.
It is
Joe
Suggs.
Flacco, we saw if Cleveland started him last
I totally
year,
forgot about
Cleveland
that.
might have won the Super Bowl if Joe Flacco was starting the whole season.
He's in Indy now.
I
forgot about that.
So again, like just going around the room, I kind of like the debate of the retire, because there's still more room that has to be done.
Yeah.
Right. The conversations and the body of work of those Ravens that we just mentioned, Ray, Ed, Jonathan, track records. They're the best at you can argue that they're the best at each of their positions in NFL history. You can make the debate there. But Rock, I think we're, at least for quarterbacks, Lamar's he's on his way, 2 MVPs. But people are going to get caught up with winning a quote unquote Super Bowl. And even though Joe Flacco, more than likely, guys, and just being honest here, I don't think Joe's going to be a quarterback that's going to get into the Hall of Fame, right? But he was a significant member of the Baltimore Ravens, and he was a staple for 10 years for the Baltimore Ravens.
If he's not going to get into the Super Bowl, he's definitely going to.
You mean getting the Hall of Fame?
I mean, getting.
So he got into that.
He got into the Super.
He won it.
It's been a long day already.
They actually invited him to the Super Bowl. He earned that.
He actually won the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
He didn't just go into it.
If he's not going to get into the Hall of Fame, he'll definitely be in the Ravens Ring of Honor. There's no question about
he'll
that.
be a Ravens Hall of Famer.
If you look at his numbers postseason, especially, I mean, just check them out. And we're not box score watching or just looking at numbers specifically. And you talk about the longevity. He's been around for a long time, but I mean, he did it, and he did it well. And he's got arguably one of the best deep balls in NFL history. Just watching that float through the air. It didn't float. It was a missile. It was spectacular. So he'll get his, and like you said, Rip, like likely not going to get into Canton. I mean, I'm not going to rule anything out because you never know, but he'll be honored here without a doubt, as he should be, because he is one of the best quarterbacks that this franchise has ever seen. We can all, it's not an argument. He's top 2.
Yeah.
Whether you want to put him 1, whether you want to put him 2, people have their opinions about Lamar not winning a Super Bowl yet.
Yep.
People have their opinions about Joe Flacco winning a Super Bowl. But there's one thing about Lamar Jackson, say this. The guy is what he's able to do with his legs, with his arms, is in the way he carries himself. It is generational. He's a generational talent. I have no problem saying that. If you disagree with me, just look at what he's been able to do and the way he plays the game. And then there are going to be those, and I don't want to call it a tired argument, but look at his playoff record. Look at this. Look at that. Listen, this is a team sport. One player cannot do it alone. And we've seen that. Lamar's not out there calling every single play in a postseason game against the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship. Could he have played better in that game? Absolutely. Could he have, I don't know. It's obviously we look at that, but when you're talking about having a Mount Rushmore, I have no problem putting Lamar Jackson on there. I have no problem at all. The other three guys, they're locks. That last spot, you can put up for grabs. You can argue about it, but I have no. If Lamar Jackson is there, I'm not going to argue that he shouldn't be on that Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
right there.
and that's the thing right now. It's like Lamar's is on a path for Ken, right? Like he's on a path.
Yeah.
The thing that he's trying to, and the team is they're trying to get a Super Bowl title to go with that collection of 2 MVPs that he already has had in the first 6 years in the league. So it just the context of how special he's been. That's crazy. Only 6 years. And we'll dive more into that in the future, just as we get closer. We just want a little bit of Ravens news. But guys, because we haven't touched on this, but let's do a couple, let you guys think of this while I pay a trip up to our good old friends in West Virginia. That was terrible. I need Brad back here because that was terrible.
West Virginia.
But if maybe, Zach, because you're into these types of things, you have a little bit of a pulse, a feeling in your plums. But our friends at Hollywood Casino up in Charlestown Races up in West Virginia.
You guys are coming in too late. It's like West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Once
So when
again,
I
now you're
say
now coming in again.
it's West Virginia.
West Virginia.
You know, this is why we have just the recurring guest on. This is the second time actually Rocco's ruined a ad. When I was the one up here, Rocco had to then after the ad come back and say, I think we should do it
That was
again
so good.
because I was doing
good.
the ad, and then Rocco in the middle of it goes, "Oh, that actually reminds me," and starts a conversation, and then goes, I think we should redo the ad because I started talking.
This isn't me messing the ad up, though. I'm
This
saying
is.
West
Yeah,
Virginia
this
as
is.
well. No,
This
no,
is.
Zach going on a rant because
Okay.
I'm purposely coming in after him. And
That's
then
great.
saying
So
West
can I
Virginia.
talk about our friends at Hollywood Casino,
Yeah,
Charlestown
I would love
Races?
to, because
Okay.
I think you should just do it again.
All
Just do
right.
it again.
Do it again, Rip. Read it
All
again
right, all
now.
right. So
Do
our
it
good
live.
old friends up there in
West
Virginia.
West
All right.
Virginia.
Okay, shut up, Rocco. Okay. Hollywood Casino, Charlestown Races. It's West Virginia. You think that it's far away. It's really not. It's an hour from Owens Mills. It's like an hour and 20 from Baltimore. We're going to go up there to do more shows. They have events planned consistently. And then on top of it, we're going to go up for some horse racing. We're going to go up to give you guys more content. And if you are a Penn Play card member and you use your card up there in West Virginia, you get complimentary beverages. And I think everyone likes complimentary. Kevin, fan of complimentary? Yes, he is. Good hand raised. Thank you, Kevin. And also here that the Hollywood Casino, they have a new thing with if you're a member and you download the app or you want to become a member, for downloading the Penn Play app, you have a chance to win $2,000 cash for Penn Play to start. Just like that. When I move, you move. Just like that. Hell yeah. Hey, DJ, bring that back. So our friends, Hollywood Casino up in Charlestown Races. Guys, this is why Rocco might not be invited back in studio. We're
He
trying to
just
get
got back from his darkness tree. Give him a break.
I unplugged his mic. so
good.
he
Can you
couldn't
give
keep
so for that for our can you give our Hollywood Casino what's a bet that you're interested in? That's catching your eye if you're into that type of thing. And as always, you got to be 21 or older. And if you have a problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Kevin is confirmed over 21 years old. Now, Zach, go ahead.
I coming up after that tough series, you got to just ride your best players, and I'm going to continue to ride Gunnar Henderson 2+ bases. I like the I think he comes out here and he's always a threat first pitch of the game to go yard. So that's a bet that pretty much every night I'm loving.
I'm loving it, and he's been on fire. I like that a lot.
Fire.
I like that a lot, and I think the thing that we're going to be curious about is what type of series is this going to be? Because we talked about how good the bullpen is for the Guardians. The Orioles still have had a overall solid year from the bullpen, despite a lot of other people thinking this team's bad. But pitching could be at a premium, and it's really going to depend, at least in this first game, what's going on with Cade Povich, how he gets off, what type of Cade Povich we're going to see. A guy that has the talent, but again, it's going to be the command. If he keeps his command down and gets deep into a game, he can be really successful, and he's going to need to against a very, very tough Guardians lineup. And last thing, guys, we are approaching the English Premier League coming to Baltimore, or Annapolis specifically. Stateside Cup, Wolves, Crystal Palace. We are going to be down there on July 31st. It's $35 for a ticket there. We're working on how to get our content better. Maybe we'll get a kit. That's what they call their uniforms here. And then maybe we see if Kevin can actually kick with his toe, and that'll be a lot of fun. But
I'm actually left-footed.
Okay, that's great. There's so much things going on here as I try to get our sponsors out there in the open. We got Rocco's mic unplugged. Zach's
It's plugged back in.
Yeah, he plugged it back
and Zach's
I know what it
taking calls on the.
Well, no, I was saying.
I'm listening to Danny Coulomb on Foul Territory made some interesting comments.
Oh,
I was just saying I'm excited to go and we'll probably get some good content there. So if I can kick, because my right toe is the one that's messed up, so my left foot, I want to see how far I can kick a soccer ball, because my soccer days and my glory when I was like 7 years old, I was all defense, and then I didn't score a goal, and so I quit because I was fed up.
And again, all of it adds up. All of it adds up here. But hey, we're gonna get on out of here. It's been a long show. We got a lot of videos coming out here. Again, go back and watch. And Ramey, thank you. We're gonna have to have
Ramey.
We're gonna have to have him as a recurring guest back on here, like our good old
100%.
friend Rocco DeSangro, welcoming back to the studio. But we have a lot of football conversations coming up here. It's crazy. We're really approaching a month until training camp. We'll get into that.
3 weeks.
Less than 3 weeks. But for the meantime, birds are flying high here in Baltimore. Enjoy the series. But now I think it's time to cue the music. And for the Holy Shirts and Pants members, remember, Eric Fetty Breakdown coming your way soon. If you want to be a member, click that join button on the side. It helps our channel continue to grow as we can give you more.
Ooh.
As always, here at the Ryan Ripken Show, we appreciate you guys tuning in. And again, we're putting this episode out on the audio, Spotify, Apple. You guys have a day, have a night. Enjoy the Guardians and Orioles play a 3-game set. We'll be back on Thursday for a brand new edition of the Ryan Ripken Show. Peace.